you do something crazy. So, what we have here is possibly the best BMW you could build at any price. It's a 135i that has been slowly transformed into a 1M and then beyond, using the best bits from the 1 Series and then the best bits from the M3, E92 M3, including the V8 engine. I don't get surprised by it very many things. Usually when I go to drive a car, it's more or less what I expect it to be. So when Marco said, come drive this, I had an idea in my head of what this car would be. The truth is, it's so much more.
So it's one thing to look like a 1M and it's one thing to drive like a 1M, but the car was not a 1M. So I feel like the car kind of struggled a bit with its own identity. So then I started to think, you know, what can I do to this vehicle and take advantage of it not being a limited one of 740 1Ms. So then I started looking at engine work and, you know, crunching numbers on turbos and things like that. And I was actually Facebook chatting with Joe and he's like, did you ever think about putting an S65 in it? And I actually had, but I didn't really think it was possible. I just thought it was something like, you know, off in my dreams.
This car is a project that I think that we all kind of fell in love with. It's sort of a project that we thought was probably something that the engineers at BMW Motorsports thought of, but we think it would have been a big competitor to the E92, E90 M3. So it really started as a debate in the shop with the guys just talking about building something like this. And it wasn't really until we met Marco that the ideas started to become more and more reality.
So pretty much you need an entire M3. So I actually purchased a crashed white E92 M3. I actually purchased the car in England, which is kind of funny, and then the dismantler ripped the entire car apart and he freighted me all of the parts.
We pretty much took as much as we can, including the subframes, front and rear, suspension, brakes, pretty much everything that we thought we might need. And we ended up using pretty much all of it. We ended up putting the subframe front and back. The front was pretty much a given because we were going to bolt in the engine and we needed it. But the rear came later as we decided to hard mount the rear and do Heim jointed control arms and really started to get more toward a track functional build. So it has the E92 engine, the M3 engine, the subframe front and rear transmission. We even put a M3 diff in it.
BMWs are really complex and it takes a really special team to be able to build a vehicle like the 1 Series and make it operate like a factory car. So, you know, the guys really have an insane attention to detail and they really wanted everything to work. That's why the car is AC, all the electronics work. It has the power button, it has working MDM mode. Everything works like a factory car.
I think it was important to build a street car because we could have very easily built a monstrous race car, which we have. But the challenge was to make it street legal and somewhat streetable, obviously for the enthusiast driver owner. And the car is somewhat streetable. It's very loud. It is hard mounted, but for the most part, it's a fairly comfortable car to drive for what it is.
What's it like to drive?
It's really loud. It's loud, it shakes a lot, girls don't like it, but it's just a blast. It's just awesome to drive.
I feel like I'm in a Grand Am race car. Like that sound is what I heard in the Turner Z4. It sounds just like that. And it feels the way it rides, the way it turns in, the way it sticks, the way it responds. I mean, this feels like a race car. And it's not blow your mind with power. That's not what this is about. It's about building from the BMW parts bin the best BMW touring sedan, sports car, whatever that you could build. So yes, there's faster BMWs than this. This engine could be supercharged or it could be stroked, but when you have 400 wheel in a car that weighs 3,100 pounds with a full interior and that sound, good God, man. I would go to jail. If I had more than a couple hours in this car, I would absolutely end up in jail. It's got fully solid bushings. The motor mounts are solid, the tranny mounts are Delrin, and I can feel every little pebble, every road imperfection. A lot of that makes its way through the steering wheel and into the cabin. It's not passenger friendly. My girlfriend would hate this car, which is kind of why I love it. With the short shifter and the Delrin transmission bushings too, there's a really notchy good feel in that shifter when you change gear. But this just takes everything about a BMW and sends all that right to your fingertips. Mental. Yeah, it's a winner.